What can we say about Pasolini and his divisive art at 100? His life sought to conflate ideologies and challenge contradictions: Catholicism, homosexuality, and Marxism. He was a leftist public intellectual. He wrote plays, novels, and poems in the Friulian dialect of the peasantry. He proudly regarded himself as a communist all his life, in spite of some disagreements with the rest of the left. For instance, his support of the Vatican's archaic abortion laws. Pasolini's attitude towards religion, however, was in fact highly ambivalent, but he drew heavily on Christian symbolism and spiritual ideas in his politically engaged works. Especially with his cinema of the 1960s, which emerged from the neorealism of the post-war period, he had a lasting impact on filmmakers. His first two films, Accatone from 1961 and Mamma Roma, are by comparison rather hopeful visions of Roman lowlife. There is a kind of salvation for 16-year-old Ettore in Mamma Roma, albeit through his devoted mother, portrayed by Anna Magnani, one of his great tragic characters and heroines. Stylized as stations to martyrdom and elevated by the use of music by Bach and Vivaldi on the soundtrack. Later, however, Pasolini located joyful innocent sex in archaic mythical times, particularly in his Trilogy of Life, which he romanticized, while he deemed the modern capitalist world a sexually repressive, doomed society. This can be seen most subversively and strikingly in TEOREMA, and brutally unrestrained and disillusioned in his final piece, Salò. In TEOREMA, a handsome stranger, played by Terence Stamp, enters the lives of a bourgeois family without any explanation. One by one, the members are being seduced: mother, father, son, daughter, and even the maid. No one's personality is left untouched, unaltered by his erratic, messiah-like presence. Because, after disappearing as randomly, family life is shattered, revealing a void, an empty space in their otherwise intellectual environment. Only the devout maid finds peace through the stranger's divine intervention, becomes a saint-like figure, performing miracles in a bizarrely ironic twist. Everybody else, abandoning the hermetic, geometrically constructed theorem of family life, experiences an existential crisis, an irrational angst, trying to compensate the sudden meaninglessness with obsessive fixations. Each character responds differently to this. Insanity and sexual perversity are laid bare in the consequence, but only by overcoming taboos and transforming identity. Pasolini complicates the homosexual urges that the members experience, as they are far from liberating, but he portrays them as troubling and tormenting. In the end, we witness the industrialist patriarch cruising for an attractive young man at the Milanese train station, compulsively undressing and stepping into the last bleak scenery of the movie, a desolate, volcanic wasteland, conjuring up a final, echoing scream. This is not salvation, or an epiphany for that matter, but a vicious deconstruction, a confrontation of bourgeois capitalist emptiness, sex, identity, and religion altogether.